Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast. This is your host, Geboss, and the other host is Akainu Fanboy. And we are going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen episodes 39 through 41. So if you could please like and subscribe if you like this content, and please let us know what you thought of the episodes. So last time we were talking about this, Toji had just burst through into Dagon's domain, and we pick up from where that left off. So, what did you think of this whole fight?
I thought it was pretty terrific. I mean, he just kind of went to work very quickly. It was just low def. The guy's an absolute monster. And then you get to see the Zenin clan, kind of experience this, they're just all taking this in to just see how, in a way, it's kind of proving them wrong in a way too. You see his unlimited power just on full display right here, So I think it's kind of a cool narrative thing. He's the one saving their lives, at the same time, So I did appreciate that. And yeah, just the animation was phenomenal, just to show just how brutal he is and everything, So and it is crazy to see a lot of these spirits just get annihilated too in these past couple episodes,
Yeah, I mean, with Hanami, we got the whole fight at the end of season 1 to kind of explore their power, whereas Dagon was kind of introduced. What was it, last episode? We really got to show its power, and then it was literally taken out this next episode. So that was kind of not a letdown, but I think it was more of a thing to show how powerful Toji is.
Yeah, right.
But speaking of the animation, I don't know. I could still feel that the everything within the domain, that section, kind of felt a little rushed. I think that was the case. The director said so. But yeah, that would be the only negative I would say about that part. And then we get Toji singling out Megumi because he's programmed to go after the strongest person. So I guess after all the damage that was taken by the other sorcerers like Nanami and Naobito and everything, that he technically is the strongest out of that group.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, we saw that Mr. Buggy the Clown in volcano form popped off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean we'll talk about that in the next episode, but yeah, it's kind of funny because his character is very he's kind of a jobber, but he's also really powerful, like we saw here. Yeah, so
One Piece.
Yeah, I mean, Buggy and Jogo are basically the same character. But yeah, were you surprised that he took out all the other people so fast?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen his power exerted in that way, right? We just saw him kind of get destroyed by Gojo, but a lot of people get destroyed by Gojo, so it was interesting to see his strength displayed, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he used his domain against Gojo, so it's like I said, he's really powerful, which is shown in the next episode. But do you think that, well, we know for sure one because at the end of episode 41, but what do you think about the fates of the other two?
I'm just gonna assume they're both alive. Just for them to kill Maki off like that, and if 2 out of 3 are alive, I assume the third guy is too, especially since I mean, I don't know how. I mean, this universe is so weird, the powers, but his ability is particularly designed to get out of tough situations too. I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah,
with the super speed.
Yeah, but he literally took like 2 volcanoes to the face. And we
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, especially after the last episode, like who's alive and who isn't at this point. Because there isn't much of the district right now. But that's kind of my intuition right here. As an anime only guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to talk to someone who hasn't already seen the series before, get taken through the twists and turns. Speaking of twists and turns, we get Geto's two girls that he rescued in the flashback, feeding Sukuna and reviving him with the fingers. So, what do you think of this? Because Sukuna's like kind of the focus for this little chunk of episodes here.
So what I do find interesting is like, because they said like, we will get payback basically, kind of they were saying to like Geto's reanimated corpse. And we kind of, well, like he immediately just takes out Mr. Buggy's head, so he's just like, you kind of give out the impression like, oh, is he gonna be allying with them? Is this actually gonna work? And I did kind of like the shock though of him just like annihilating these 2 girls, because it kind of just shows characterization that he's just not a good person, and all the rest, and he cannot be controlled either, so I do like this idea, because just to kind of crap on Naruto, but like the Nine-Tailed Fox kind of came off as vicious and everything, but at the same time, you didn't really get this adversarial kind of relationship, this danger, that was kind of going on there and everything, But here, you're like, oh wait, no, this guy is like a threat, and he's like actively, the inverse of the MC, which I think is like a really good story element.
Yeah. He's actively malicious, like in season 1, where when Yuji was asking him to help heal Junpei after he got transformed by Mahito, and he just started laughing. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm only taking care of you because you're my host.
Yeah, and as an anime only, like, even though he annihilated these 2 girls, which was like crazy and shocking. I mean, it shouldn't be shocking, but it was like so sudden, I still think as like an anime only, like, in a way, he still kind of assisted what they wanted, because he did, kill off one of their allies and everything, but it was just kind of. But I also think like it's kind of good. I mean, like, you could say in this arc too, simultaneously, the Geto's faction is like, his old faction is just worthless at this point, and they don't have the influence that they once have, and they're begging him for help, and they're just slowly getting picked off one by one, they're just kind of like a shell of what they used to be.
Yeah, and I actually had to refresh myself, because in the next episode, the 2 who confronted Panda and Kusakabe were part of the original faction that was shown in the movie.
Yeah.
I had to remind myself about that.
Yeah, so they're just decaying. They're just to show what they used to be like. They used to be the main antagonists and stuff. And the movie, they were like really broken, and now it's just like, eh.
Yeah. They're just kind of there as extra bodies.
Yep.
But then we get the prelude to Yuji and not Yuji, Sukuna and Jogo's fight, with him saying, if you can land one hit on me, I'll help you guys. except for one. I'll kill every human in Shibuya except for one. And we see later on who he specifically wants to keep alive, and that's Megumi. Yeah, for whatever reason. Do you have any theories about that, or?
Not at this point. No, I don't.
Okay, just planting that kernel into your head.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm still chewing it over for sure.
Yeah. Then we get to episode 40, which is basically divided into like two major sections, which is the Megumi and Toji fight and the Sukuna versus Jogo fight. I guess we'll go over the Megumi and Toji one first, because they expanded on that from the manga, because in the manga it was mostly Megumi just running away the whole time, like he wasn't really fighting. Certainly didn't have the rabbits come and throw hands.
Hey, the rabbits are dope. That was a cool technique. I like that a lot.
Yeah. that was a surprise for me. But I mean, we see just Toji going after Megumi this whole time, and the final confrontation. So what did you think about the conclusion of this fight? Because I don't.
Sudden and unexpected.
Yeah, it's. I wasn't around in the manga community to see what the reaction was for this, but yeah, I would think it would be pretty shocking to see what happens. Like, gets reincarnated, kills Dagon, says "good for you," and then kills himself. That's basically it for Toji.
Like, I think it makes sense for his character. You know, I mean, I kind of wish he got the fight Sukuna.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a major what if. Like, people still debate, like, if Toji was still around, what would happen fighting Sukuna or fighting Maharaga or even Jogo. So,
yeah, I think that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah. It's kind of the big what if for this arc. But I mean, Toji's just so powerful. But go ahead.
Yeah, I did have one question with the principal saying that they would have been dead without your assistance. Could you just explain that part a little bit? Just like how he specifically assisted everyone.
Oh, you mean Shoko?
Yeah. He like summons his familiars and everything, and just so could you just expound on that more? I think I was a little confused with that part.
So I think he's talking mainly about Shoko, because she's the only one that can heal people. Because other people. So this is where it's like kind of confusing with like reverse curse technique and everything, because so her I think people can use reverse curse technique on themselves to heal themselves, because like in the flashback, Gojo explains that he learned how to do reverse curse technique on himself so that his brain doesn't tire out by using the 6 eyes all the time. So I think every sorcerer has the ability to do that, but in regards to healing other people, that's like a rare phenomena. So she's like invaluable to this team, so they have to protect her, because that's where they're bringing, like, they brought Ijichi there, and we see in the next episode that Sukuna drops off Megumi there. So so yeah, I think that's what they were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And I think
so. They're still able to help even though the barrier's up and everything.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, she says
that's what I was kind of confused, the relationship with the barrier and all that, you know.
Yeah, well, I think the barrier is down, because they destroyed the barrier. I don't know. There were like 4 barriers. It's hard to keep track of.
That's for a little
of how many. But I mean, she says, I'm looking at the subtitle, not even Satoru is capable of healing others with his reverse curse technique. Yeah, Ino and Ijichi would both be dead if you weren't here.
Gotcha.
So yeah, she's invaluable to the team.
For sure.
But yeah.
Then, so what do you think? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to touch a little bit more about Toji, because I think that he's only in the story for a little bit, but I still think he's pretty fascinating because he it was kind of made more clear to me when I was reading comments, and it was like I think Toji kind of knew what he was doing, but his body was on autopilot, going after the sorcerers. And once he realized who Megumi was, and learned that he took the Fushiguro name over the Zenin name, he broke out of it so that he wouldn't hurt him. So it kind of shows like his even though it seems like he doesn't care, he actually does, because I think later on in the story that it's explained a little bit more about Toji's past with the Zenin and why he wanted Megumi, why he didn't necessarily want Megumi to join it or be officially part of it. But yeah, it's I just think like people call him the GOAT for the reason. But yeah, he's one of my favorite characters. He just also has that like rule of cool. He's like my crocodile for Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but anyway, then we get to the cinema that is Jogo versus Sukuna. So
what about Panda?
Oh yeah, well, I did think it was kind of funny that Kusakabe was like, I'm distracting him basically because I don't want to fight people.
I like their like dialogue and their interaction, especially with like I did like that little Geto flashback, how they're kind of like, we're carrying on his will and all this stuff, and then you see how powerless and weak they are too, you know? Just shortly thereafter. So it like in a way it was kind of touching to see how like they say like we're a family and everything, but then like it's just falling to pieces so quickly. You know, they're kind of like coping right now, you know? Like they're nothing without Geto.
Yeah, we're not even sure if they really survive this whole interaction with the especially with the meteor and what happens in episode 41. But but yeah, anything else before we move on to
also so is that his gag that he doesn't like combat, or is it genuinely like he's a coward? Because like I kind of go back and forth with it, you know,
so
with like throughout this episode.
Yeah, so we don't really, I think he's just kind of lazy and he doesn't want to get into combat otherwise, because it's kind of weird that we haven't been introduced to him before and he's just kind of here. I wish we had gotten more of him, honestly, because even but yeah, it is kind of hard to read, but I think it's somewhat serious. But yeah, I think when like push comes to shove, he does want to fight people, or he's willing to fight because I mean, he doesn't doesn't look like he has like a strong technique like other people. He basically just has the same like sword technique like Miwa does from Kyoto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which like he got to show off a little bit against Geto's, sorcerers. It's like, oh cool, that's impressive. But then like you immediately get Sukuna dropping in, and you're just like, no, you're just like on a completely different tier. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like they're children in the context of everything. But I guess like that's a good segue though. But the fight was like phenomenal, crazy, over the top animation again. That I wasn't like expecting, because you don't really see. Like, you don't think he's remotely near Sukuna, and he isn't, in terms of power and all this stuff, but, like, it's still crazy to see his power level. Like, he is, like, that strong, and it does, like, give even more props to Gojo as well,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, when... Like, we'll talk about, like, Sukuna's feats in these next 2 episodes, but, like, when... it was in one of the first episodes where... they would ask like who would win, Sukuna or Gojo, and he'd be like, nah, I'd win. And it's like, compared to like this, I'm like, I really want to see what happens when they fight. But yeah, so I know that you have watched Mob Psycho. I still need to get on that.
Goated.
But yeah, I think the director for some of the action sequences did this episode, the Jogo fight, and the next episode with Maharaga.
Yeah, I definitely noticed the similarities.
Yeah, and it's like, just knowing that, I'm like, okay, because I've seen some like out of context animation from Mob Psycho, and it's like, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, they definitely upped like Sukuna's feats in these 2 episodes. Like, makes him more crazy than what we thought. And we got like Jogo surfing on the lava, and like causing lava to appear out of everywhere, like out of buildings and everything. Like, I was blown away by how well they showed off like the craziness of this whole fight. Because we got like maybe half of this, if anything, in the manga. My one of my favorite shots was when I think it's Jogo. Okay, before I get into that, who thought it was a good idea to have 2 characters named Jogo and Gojo? It's so confusing trying to just keep it straight. But anyway, when Jogo slams like the 2 buildings together, and Sukuna splits it with his abilities, and he's like in there doing like a cross pose and everything. That was one of my favorite shots, because this isn't a spoiler or anything, but later on in the series, Sukuna like it's revealed that one of his nicknames, it depends on the translation, but one of his nicknames is either like the disgraced one or the fallen one, and it kind of like it's kind of painting him like as like an antichrist type figure. And it definitely shows in this. But yeah, and then we get but you go ahead.
Oh, no, I just find it kind of interesting that, I mean, you see it more next episode, and I'm not like a bloodlusted fiend because my name's Akainu Fanboy, but like, I think you don't really see that many citizens getting killed, but it's like under the assumption that tons of them are just getting killed right now. You know what I mean? But like, right, you kind of you see more of a glimpse of it in the next one, and I guess they kind of balance it out, because I guess I wouldn't want to see it over and over again, like some Invincible level stuff, but I did like I thought that was interesting, but at the same time though, my favorite shot was without a doubt the panda, him spawning right next to Panda. I thought,
oh yeah,
it was just sudden, and I think in a way that showed his power more than him actually showing his power. You know what I mean? Like, to have all these guys who are powerful, you know? Like, Panda is powerful, you know? But they just make them like, no, you're not going anywhere. And I don't even have to do anything, you know? Like, you can just feel my presence right now, you know? Like, it was just so well done. It just like, treated them like children. Okay, on your marks, get set, go. You know, kind of thing, right?
It's literally like playing like red light, green light.
Dude, it was so well done, and just to see their reactions too. Sorry, the guy with the samurai sword, what's his name again?
Kusakabe.
Yeah, Kusakabe, like, I think it's the most comical of him. He's just like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is my worst case scenario. You know, like, I just want to chill, and all this is happening. You know, like, he's trying to avoid it, and then he's just popped up right next to him.
Yeah.
And so I like the comedy of that too. I thought that was great. You know.
Yeah, it's like his mere presence is causing them to freeze up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the opposite of freezing up, we get to the conclusion of the fight with Yuji, Sukuna, unveiling the technique that is still debated hotly among the fan base. His literal like square open technique. And that's how it's written in the manga too. It's literally just a square. So and he can use fire. So what do you think about that?
Like, man, I'm not deep into this, but like him using fire. I mean, like, because like I know he's just more like his main technique is just slicing everything, you know. But from what I can tell, we haven't really seen much in the way of fire as an element in this, or like as a power in this series, you know. Like, so I do kind of find that interesting. And him like using this on Jogo was just, I guess, in a way, a compliment to his power. You know what I mean? So, like, to honor him in that sense. So I thought that was kind of interesting too, that he would display it against Jogo. You know, so I thought that was, but I guess like maybe this is like a higher tier power that he unlocked by eating so many fingers. You know and that's why we saw it.
Maybe. Yeah,
so, anyways, yeah.
I was gonna say that some people have theorized like he can maybe copy abilities or something because it's like fire versus fire. But then in the next episode we see him use it against Maharaga. So I don't know if he can store them or what. Yeah. But I also thought that it was kind of like him saying like, oh, you're fire, let me use my fire to humiliate you, show you who's stronger.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think some people were disappointed that we didn't see like the final clash or anything, because we cut to Jogo just in the void with the other dead spirits. But Sukuna was like hold your head up, you're strong, which is an interesting character moment for Sukuna. So
yeah.
So
fair moment.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about that or?
No. Yeah, I'd say about it. I think it's interesting how only one of the spirits are left. So, you know, we're seeing a lot of L's for the good guys right here, but at the same time, you know, the bad guys have been taking quite a few hits. You know, and so Mahito's the only one left, and he's the one I hate the most. So that's too bad. You know. Yeah. So.
He's everyone hates Mahito, but that's what makes him a great villain.
Yeah. So you want to discuss Thunderclap now, part 2?
Yeah. So we get like a lead in from last episode where we didn't even talk about Haruto taking coming up after what's his face Megumi, the whole Megumi and Toji thing, and slicing Megumi in the back. So were you surprised that he showed up again after being walloped by Nanami?
I had a feeling it was going to happen, to be honest. We didn't see the final death below, I guess. You know what I mean? But I do like how they explained it with the miracle thing later on in this episode. I was like, okay, you know what? That's a cool way to explain it, actually. And I like that, you know, so.
Yeah, I think when we
feel like it required some extra.
Yeah, I think when we did our previous discussion, I hinted at what his ability was. But yeah, go on.
No, I like it because I think it puts respect on Nanami too, because it said like he wouldn't have survived without it, kind of thing, you know. You know, so they weren't trying to take away Nanami's W.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. But seeing this creature get summoned, you'd probably know the name right off the top. It's like kind of unexpected in a way, man. Well, and I think it does, you know.
Yeah. So, I will say that, like, knowing about this, rewatching the first season, Megumi tried to summon this multiple times, like when he was in danger.
Okay.
So, like, knowing that, like, he does the whole, like, it was the whole, like, with this treasure I summon, pose. He tried to use it multiple times, but, like, just seeing Maharaga, because Maharaga, like, is, like, a fan favorite, like, adapting to everything, and, yeah, so what do you think of this whole fight? Because they took like 3 chapters and expanded it into this whole episode. They really went above and beyond with the whole fight. But yeah, what did you think about it?
Oh no, it was dope. It was really sick. Like I said, unexpected and everything too. I didn't really see it going this way, to be honest. I kind of thought, I didn't think Sukuna wasn't gonna play as much of a role in this arc, you know. I thought Itadori was actually gonna be more active and conscious and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, so that was kind of like an undercutting my expectation for this. I'm not saying it's like in a negative thing, you know. But I thought it was gonna kind of be more of a focus, like we're gonna free Gojo Senpai and all this stuff. But that just took all these different turns with like Toji coming in, you know, and everything like that, you know. So it was just a lot of surprises with this one, you know. Yeah, because it just kind of seems like the original point of the arc has kind of been obscured a lot, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a whole all-out war against like the evil, the cursed spirits and the sorcerers, that just keeps getting like all these different things added onto it. But but one thing I will
seems
say,
like nothing's going on either side.
Yeah, like no one planned on this.
Yeah.
So I have positives and negatives about this whole episode. Positive is that compared to the manga, they show, like you mentioned earlier, they show like all these people that are in the middle of all this fighting. You didn't really get that sense in the manga, but you see it a lot more here, which I appreciated, because it kind of brings the whole end of the episode more. I think it has more impact that way.
I agree. Yeah.
Because like Sukuna like doesn't even like he has no care for lives. He doesn't care about collateral damage. It's just about the fight, and like he's taking like pleasure in the fight, like trying to figure out what's going on. But one negative I will say, like I said, it took like 3 chapters from the manga and extrapolated it. I feel like some of the stuff that they were trying to portray in the manga was lost in this adaptation. Like things were a lot clearer to follow in the manga. Like I'm trying to remember, like it showed like Maharaga adapting to Sukuna's slashes. Like he could deflect the slash with his sword, which I've watched this like at least 2 times through. I'm like, I don't ever remember seeing that part, like where he just straight up deflects the slashes. It's more like he's like healing from them. But yeah. Did you have any questions about like what was going on or anything?
Honestly, I was just like, whoa, you know, and that was just kind of it. I wasn't like analyzing really, to be honest. I was just kind of like taking it in, you know, because it was just so much more beyond what I thought. You know, you go from named moves to just like button smashing, you know, kind of thing. And I'm not trying to say that in a negative way. It was just like a completely different level.
Yeah. I mean, the animation. Look, the whole situation with Mappa is bad, because I looked it up. Since they took on Jujutsu Kaisen, they've had Vinland Saga, Attack on Titan final season, basically 2 Attack on Titan movies, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man. Like they've like within these like 2 or 3 years, they have overworked their staff, which is not good. But I mean, the staff is, after this episode, I don't know what's gonna happen, because I don't know if the production is gonna go on hold or anything. But like shout outs to the animators who, like, you could tell that they really cared about this.
Right. No, yeah, it was it was really well done and everything. Yeah, and just, you know, credit for them. It's an artistic, you know, just a huge artistic accomplishment and everything, you know, so really cool stuff.
But my favorite part of the thing was the I watched the episode like right as it was coming out, and they translated Sukuna's malevolent shrine to malevolent kitchen. And I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense with the whole like cutting thing, because I think if you, in Japanese, if you can read malevolent shrine as malevolent kitchen, but it's like, it's such a weird name to try and like play off as serious.
For sure. Yeah, and it's like a Sanji move, bro. It's a Sanji reference.
Yeah. But then at the end of the whole fight, we see the whole destruction. Like, we see this whole dark spot of where everything was destroyed in Shibuya, and all the lives that were lost, and Yuji like freaking out because he caused all this, basically, or he blames himself for it. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought the breakdown was really good because, like, you know, we got to see him as kind of this carefree guy a lot of the time, you know, just kind of chilling. And to see him just kind of go.
The episode dared start like with his grandpa dying, saying "help others," and then it ends with with that.
So it was a good character moment to see him in a moment of despair. You know what I mean? Like to see him broken down. And it's nice to have kind of a carefree MC, kind of like, let's just say Luffy post Marineford, for example. When you see them kind of like get broken down into nothing, especially like when he like starts throwing up, he sees all the images of what everything he did, even from kind of killing those 2 girls that Geto, you know, had and everything. Like, even like all those small details they included, and I really like that a lot. And I think that's like a strong character moment for him, you know.
Yeah, you brought up the Nine Tails from Naruto originally, and I think that's a good comparison, because like we hear the stories about like, oh, the Nine Tails was this monster that could level forests or level cities or whatever, and we just hear it about in like stories. And even like when the Nine Tails was almost released, like during the Pain fight, we didn't get to see it do that much. But with Sukuna, what I think is really good, we got to see like firsthand like what he can do. And he's not even he's only almost at full power. He's like 75% of the way there. So I thought that was this whole breakdown. I know people were kind of clowning on it because the opening song was playing during it, but I think the whole the song was written from the perspective of the cursed spirits, so it's kind of like a mocking song if you look up the lyrics.
That's interesting.
But yeah, and also we finally got to see Haruto die finally. He was one of my most hated characters. I don't know why. Well, I know why.
Yeah, and I think one point it is interesting because we don't know at least I don't know the status of all the people from Panda, right? To Mei is that her name? Who's fighting Geto?
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a lot of unknowns, though, even though it seems like
I don't
it's
know.
kind of concluding.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but like right before Sukuna and Magaraga fought, you see a glimpse of Inumaki, so we don't even know what's going on with him either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And same with Maki and everybody else. So yeah, we don't really have an idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's like I said, like this doesn't even feel like a real like shonen series. It's kind of like I think it's a little bit darker than that. And like this is where the series takes a big turn. But yeah, speaking of characters and everything, Yuji like says like, I have to fight, I have to move forward and push on, because if so I can write what I've done, basically. But I don't know if it's even his. Would you blame, if you were in this world, would you blame Yuji for this, or do you think it's Sukuna's thing?
Yeah, it's out of his control for sure.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a tragic situation, though.
Yeah.
He just has to sacrifice himself for it. Unfortunately. And similar to Yuta in some. Not really. I mean, they have this similar kind of thing where like there was something that was plaguing them, right? And like with Rika and everything like that. But like Yuta was able, for at least what we can tell, like gain some control of it, and then with him, it's just like he's enslaved to it in a way, So
yeah.
It's interesting to kind of see how those two characters are in this, because like obviously Yuta lost control of Rika, but it was like kind of him losing control of himself in a way,
Yeah.
With him, it's a different entity,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because like Rika protects Yuta, whereas Sukuna is actively like against whatever Yuji wants.
Yeah, which makes it interesting, and I like the two contrast in there.
Yeah, but and then the final kick in the gut for this is we get to see a little bit of Nanami after the whole fire thing from Jogo. So yeah, so what do you think of that?
I'm glad he's alive.
Question mark?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah. They could have saved this for next episode. Honestly, they didn't have to tease us like
might
this.
Not get next episode.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully the animators will get a break or something. Something needs to be done, which is sad because this next part of particularly next episode, I think is going to be one of my favorites for what happens. But the animators come first. But yeah. So any final thoughts?
Well, it's fire. That's my final thoughts.
How dare you say that with the last shot of it being Nanami? But anyways, if you liked our discussion, please like and subscribe and comment what you guys thought of the episode. And we will talk to you guys later about Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, other anime stuff. But yeah, we will see you later. Bye.
Peace.